will perhaps help us to understand some of the experience that you have had as well, right? The hardest part about divorce, quitting alcohol, and getting remarried. I guess that we'll hear a little about you in this that you'd like to share.
Yeah, that's I don't know how much time we got, but
Oh, go on, I'm good.
you're so cute. Okay, well, I'll tell you, the hardest part for divorce for me was that I really learned how to love my ex-husband.
Okay.
I didn't want to leave my marriage until I learned the lessons I needed to learn, because I didn't want to have to learn the lesson again.
Okay.
You know, there's this theory that if you don't learn it the first time, you'll just marry again and learn it that time or the next time. You know, there's these lessons that we can't really move on to the next lesson until we learn the first one. And there was things that I got to learn in my first marriage that have made me who I am. And I remember, you know, basically things were better than they had ever been in my marriage. I was married for 16 years, and our last year of marriage, we had more intimacy, more vulnerability, more communication than we ever had. And it wasn't enough. We both gave it everything we could, and it wasn't enough. And I basically came to a place where I was able to love him exactly the way he was. And in order to do that, I needed to let him go. And I remember the other piece of that is that I loved myself enough to let him go, because together we couldn't really be who we both wanted to be because it was in conflict. But by letting each other go, we really had the freedom to really be to be ourselves, you know? And it was like, we didn't need to be in conflict with each other of like, you should be this way and you should be that way. It was more loving to let each other go. Yeah. And I remember the hardest part was when we filed for divorce, and he came to my front door and he said, "Are you sure?"
Okay.
And I knew I was sure. And when I had shut the door, I just cried, and I told God, why do I have to love him so much? It would be easier if I hated him.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's really true, but it really came down to I loved myself, and I loved him enough to let him go. And sometimes that hurts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I had to quit drinking alcohol to be able to get to that point where I really could love somebody and be sincere and authentic about it. So quitting alcohol was just needed to happen so that I could get in touch with my feelings.
Okay.
You know? And the rewards were finding the mate that I have today. You know, blessings of being able to do the hard stuff so that I would be open and available to finding someone who's compatible with me. There's no you should be different or you should be different. It doesn't. It's in a place where we both love and respect one another.
Yeah.
And I feel like I got to that place with my first husband, and we were able to let each other go because we loved and respected one another. And that's, I'll tell you, most people don't get to that place. They
right? Yeah. And you know, I this friendship that you have after your divorce, because there are many persons, not well, let me not say many, a few persons who have this friendship with their ex-husband / ex-wife, ex-spouse, right? After, maybe a bitter separation, but that friendship started to blossom. Is it that you have this friendship with your ex-husband?
You're making me laugh a little bit because friendship,
Sorry. Yeah.
I like the word respect.
Yeah.
I think we have a mutual respect for one another. And it's not a romantic love.
I know, right?
It's like and I don't even know if I can call that a friendship. It's this like, it's the way I want to love any of God's children. It's a respect and love that I'm no better than him. I'm no less than him. He's a fellow man. He gave the DNA to our son. So I want to love him because that means I love all of my son. For me to reject anything of my ex would be rejecting a part of our posterity and our son. And how could I do that to our son? He needs to know that I'm at complete openness and wholeness with his dad, and that we are both united in loving him and teaching him and guiding him. And so I've never looked at it as like we have a friendship, but I mean, maybe that's something I need to look at because, it's one of those things that, I definitely have a good relationship with him. I have a working relationship with him, and we are parenting our 14-year-old son. And, you can see that our kid is doing well because, he's happy, and he's doing okay, and he's not acting out. And, I think that speaks volumes for itself when your kid is happy.